is 9 o'clock.
We don't have no.
What?
Hey.
Not on. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. The meeting is called to order. Would you please stand for invocation?
Heavenly Father, we ask this morning your blessings on our proceedings, that we might act in a sense of fairness and goodwill, and keeping in your trust. We ask also that all of our men and women at home and overseas who serve in our services are blessed with your hand of safety. They might return home safe to us. We ask now that you bless us for the remainder of this day, and that you keep us on agenda and allow us to do the business of the county. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Join me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pledge to Texas. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Bob, we have special presentations.
Oldest employee in road ops, James Deaver, has been with the county now for 25 years. But have Donald present it.
5 years.
3 times. Congratulations.
The next employee has been with the county for 15 years, and that's Beverly Del Pino, who works in the LEC. Next is an employee who's been with the county for 5 years, and that's Deanna Parker, who works in the treasurer's office. The next is Jimmy Cowan, who's been with the county for 5 years, who works in the LEC.
He's here.
Mm-hmm.
And the next is a young lady, Dana Velez, who works in the county clerk's office. She's been here 5 years. And the last is a young lady by the name of Amber Boswell, who works in adult probation. And I don't know if she's here.
Here. Boys awake.
Disky. Make you disky.
Is that it, Bob?
That's it.
Thank you very much. The next order on the agenda is to pass a resolution in the observance of Texas Days of Independence. Commissioner Barry, would you read that proclamation, please?
Judge Cochran, I have a letter here from the Daughters of the Republic of Texas, the Comanche Peak chapter of Granbury, Texas, signed by Versi McAtee. The resolution reads, State of Texas, County of Hood. Be it remembered at a regular meeting of the Commissioners Court held on the 28th day of February 2012, the following resolution was adopted. Whereas Article 6144A of the Texas Revised Civil Statutes set apart annually the entire week which Texas Independence Day, March the 2nd, occurs as Texas Week. And whereas Texas Independence Day is a legal Texas holiday and has been honored and celebrated by the County of Hood. Whereas the Comanche Peak chapter, Daughters of the Republic of Texas, which purpose is to preserve our history, protect our heritage of Hood County, and we will observe Texas Days of Independence. Now, therefore, the Commissioners Court hereby urges all citizens, government entities, educational institutions, business professionals, religious organizations, and all other groups in the County of Hood to hoist and display our Texas flag each day of Texas Week, undertake one or more activities to recognize our glorious history and heritage, such as announcements, programs, and messages to all members, students, and their employees, give thanks and service to our forefathers, and hope our marvelous inheritance will last forever. Adopted this 28th day of February 2012, signed Judge Darrell Cockerham, Hood County Judge, and all 4 commissioners.
I will accept the motion to accept this resolution.
So move.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Hetherington and seconded by Commissioner Simpson to approve. Any discussion?
I believe, if I'm correct, Colin Crisp is going to actually read a statement or do it from the courthouse steps or over at the town square on Friday night. There's going to be a presentation and a little program, I think, by the Daughters of the American Republic, I believe, but he was telling me that yesterday at the YMCA meeting. Do you know anything about that, Judge?
I know that they're going to have one.
Okay.
He just didn't tell us.
I didn't know exactly when.
I think it's going to be over at the...
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is a resolution for, or a proclamation for Poison Prevention Week. Commissioner Roan, would you read that, please?
This is a letter from Mike Yudzitsky at the North Texas Poison Center, which is located at Parkland Hospital in Dallas. Whereas our society has become increasingly dependent on household chemicals to perform labor-saving, time-saving miracles, and on medicines to provide health-giving, life-sustaining benefits, and whereas these products, when not used as intended or directed, may be hazardous, particularly if children gain access to them, and whereas over the past 50 years, the nation has been observing Poison Prevention Week to call attention to these hazards and how to properly handle and dispose of these substances and proper use of safety packaging and how this can help eliminate them. And whereas the efforts of our community organizations, complemented by the efforts of the North Texas Poison Center, have reduced childhood poisonings in Hood County. And whereas North Texas Poison Center, a regional poison center located at Parkland Hospital and hospital system, provides the ultimate in human service programming, immediate accessible emergency information by phone to save lives of victims of poison-related emergencies, and whereas these programs must continue as long as even one child swallows a household product or medicine by mistake. Now therefore, I, Judge Darrell Cockerham, and the Commissioners of Hood County do hereby proclaim the week of March 18 to 24, 2012 as Poison Prevention Week in this county. Further, it is directed the appropriate agencies in our local government to continue their cooperation with concerned citizens and community organizations, including our schools, to develop programs which will alert people to the continued danger of misusing medicines and household products, and to promote effective safeguards against accidental poisonings, especially among young children. Signed on this 28th day of February 2012 by Judge Cockerham and the Commissioners Court.
Motion approved.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Berry to approve.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Hetherington. Is there any further discussion on this proclamation? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Next is the consent agenda. Does any commissioner wish to pull any item off of the consent agenda?
You don't have to sign that one, it's this one, Mike.
Hearing none, Your Honor, I ask that we approve consent agenda A through 8.
Okay,
Excuse me, 8 starts the next page.
okay. Have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington to approve a consent agenda. Any discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Next item is roads and plats, and I believe there's none. Is that right, Mr. Lenny? Okay, how about development and compliance? We have a public hearing to consider take appropriate action on replat of Lot 250R, Block 1 in Bentwater on Lake Granbury, Section 2.
This replat involves the planning of 251 into one lot being called 250R. It comes to 2 3/10 acres in size. It is located in precinct number 4. The Bentwater POA has sent a letter to us acknowledging this replat. It meets all the requirements of Hood County regulations, and staff does recommend the approval of this replat.
Okay, a public hearing is now open to consider this replat of Lot 250R in the Bentwater, Lake Granbury, Section 2. Does anyone wish to make a comment? Also, if there's anyone in the audience that wish to make any comments about anything else on the agenda, the sheriff has a form for you to fill out, and all you have to do is raise your hand, and he'll hand you a form. Is there any comments on this replat? Hearing none, then this public meeting, our public hearing is closed.
Judge, I make a motion to approve replat of Lot 250R, Block 1, Bentwater, Lake Granbury, Section 2.
Okay, have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Simpson to approve the replat of Lot 250R, Block 1, Bentwater. Any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. We also have a public hearing to open on consider a variance for Table 6.1, summary of Hood County Road Standards. Mr. Lenny.
Judge, on your monitors, you'll see the roads that have been platted but not built, and these are the ones that are, Mr. Blevins has asked the variance to. They're platted at 50-foot right-of-ways. Mr. Blevins is in attendance if you have any questions. I'd like to introduce you, Brian. This is Mr. Blevins here. It's located in Precinct 4 in Lakewood Hills, and like I said before, it is a variance to our Table 6.1 in our regulations.
Judge, before you open the public hearing, the right-of-way on those roads that was built back before anybody on this court was there, and Aikens developed that. Those were set at 50-foot right-of-ways, and then this court about 5 years ago adopted a 60-foot right-of-way. The problem is if he goes back, the city of Granbury is taking this since it's in the city's ETJ, so they're taking lead on this. They need a variance from us on the roads if we're going to allow them to build a 50-foot right-of-way. But if we go to the 60-foot, it'll change up all the lot sizes and lot diameters. Also, anything that's in there is going to be brought, I believe, city water and city sewer, and that's why it came to us at this time from Casey Oliver at the city, was just for the variance of the roadway. Brian is here to answer any questions, and there may be someone in the audience to speak as well.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. The public hearing is now open to consider this variance. Does anyone wish to make comments? Hearing none, the public hearing is closed.
I'll make a motion that we approve the variance. The variance is on a 50-foot right-of-way for the roadways only.
Second.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington to approve this variance from 50 feet to 60 feet for the roadway only.
Discussion item. There's two residents here from Lakewood Hills that probably would like to visit with Brian. This will go back to the city now, and the city will take the lead from it since it's an ETJ issue, but their concern is minimum standards, which the County Commissioners Court has no regard over on minimal standards of deed restrictions. But I'd like for them to make sure they meet each other and know who each other are to visit, and we try to do this neighborly and get along on this issue. But I just want to make sure that they knew who they were, and they've acknowledged the fact they know who Brian is.
Come around here. Come around here. Look at this. Okay, pardon, we had a little problem with the monitor there.
Call for question.
Is there any further discussion?
No.
Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is Budget and Finance. Consider budget line item amendments for the period of February the 7th through the February the 20th and take appropriate action.
And presented to you this morning, the first is for the mailroom, requesting to move $150 out of supplies into the fuel and oil category to provide for the remainder of the year for oil changes. The second is from JP3. Judge Watson is asking to move $1,000 out of her education, travel, and training account over to the part-time assistant position. That's line 120. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have about those. I recommend them for your approval.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington to approve the budget line item amendments. Any discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Consider payment of bills for the period of February the 7th, 2012 through February 20th of 2012. Take appropriate action.
Judge and Commissioners, the total of the bills for your consideration come to $263,502.12. There is $19,040.38 to be paid to attorneys and court reporters and visiting judges and the like. Ben E. Keith Company is scheduled for $10,289.63 for jail groceries. To ComData for fuel card purchases, $38,402.07. There is an interfund transfer to the Indigent Defense Fund 112 in the amount of $32,127.45. To Somerville County for out-of-county inmates, $21,546. There's a budgeted transfer to the Solid Waste Fund of $10,400. Another budgeted transfer out of the general fund into the jury fund of $10,675. And then a budgeted transfer to the LEC Medical Fund of $30,796. I have provided the court with a payment warrant for each one of these items, along with all the others that are listed on the schedule of accounts payable, and I recommend them for your approval.
Move we ratify paying the bills.
Second.
All right, a motion made by Commissioner Heatherington, seconded by Commissioner Simpson for the ratify the paying of the bills. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carried. Thank you. Miscellaneous, consider and take appropriate action on reports from department heads. And do we have anyone today giving their reports? Okay, we had one on there, Kathy, but she'd like to postpone to a later time due to some time constraints, so we'll put you back on for next time. All right, the next item is consider and discuss items regarding sale of lot in Brazos River Acres and take appropriate action. Commissioner Roan, do you want to say anything about this?
Yeah, I believe Dan is here and would like to speak on this.
Much. Thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity. By the way, if you could make note on the agenda, it's River Country Acres.
Yeah, it's not.
The lot that I'm referring to, well, if I can back up just where everybody's kind of up to speed and not to insult anyone's intelligence in the court, but also to get everybody up to speed in the audience. This is a lot that is now owned by the appraisal district, or the county, if you will. And that process, as you all well know, is that if you get behind on your taxes, guess what? The county will come and take the property away. They own it. They will then have an auction on the courthouse steps. And when they have that auction, they ask for not only the appraised value, but they also try to gather as much on the fees, the legal fees, the taxes that are in arrears, in order to get the property trued up.
The majority of the property does not sell on the courthouse steps. The reason being is it's overpriced. If it were worth what the county was asking for the property, then the individuals who own the property would have more than likely caught up on their taxes and sold it themselves. After the property goes through that process of the courthouse steps, the appraisal district owns the property, and then they go to a garage sale. This is where they try to flush out as much of this old property as they possibly can. My concern, and the reason I'm here this morning, is this. When it goes to the garage sale, the minimum bid of last year's garage sale was $300. A little pop quiz for everybody would be that the number of properties that went up for sale this last year and how many actually sold last year. 85% of the properties did not sell for a minimum bid of $300. So the reason I share that with you is the county is becoming a large holder of properties. There's over 275 properties that the county now owns that have gone through this process that no one wants. And so, by the way, and the overall value of those properties is over $500,000. Those are properties that, once again, they're not collecting any tax on because the county themselves owns them. I submitted to this court, I submitted to the appraisal district a bid this last year on one of these pieces of properties that had already gone to the courthouse steps. The appraised value on the property was $1,000. My bid was $1,000. And my bid was declined. This property is now in line to go to the garage sale where the minimum bid starts at $300. Where the same garage sale where 85% of the properties did not sell. So I'm here to present to the court this morning to offer my bid once again on the piece of property for the same $1,000 in hopes that it will be accepted, and also in hopes that others like myself who are wanting to invest in the county might also do so and help take some of this burden off the list of properties that the county now owns. And that's why I'm here this morning. So I thank you all for allowing me to be here. And Judge Cochran, I thank you for your attentiveness to this action. So any questions from the court that I might answer?
Not a question, Dan, but a thank you for the educational piece. You're absolutely right. All these properties that are on the county rolls are non-productive in their current state from the standpoint of producing tax dollars. So to be able to convert any of them, especially at an appraised price, is to our advantage.
I would agree.
Just a clarification, though, that this is not just county property. The properties owned by this Granbury ISD or the school district that it lies in, right, and Hood County.
Absolutely. You're correct. You are correct.
Also, the reason that your bid was rejected is these properties are managed and maintained by the Hood County Appraisal District. Hood County Appraisal District's board is set up by every taxing entity in this county and every taxing entity in the ISD that touches our county. Our kids go like Bluffdale and Godly and so forth. The voting members come from every taxing entity. Sure. So we were asked to reject that bid because of the amount of money that was tied up on legal fees. So Greg Stewart doesn't work for Hood County. He works for all taxing entities. The Linebarger, the law firm that works, has quite a bit of money, obviously, in this piece of property. I couldn't tell you where this piece of property is and drive you to it. But we were asked to reject that bid because they thought they could get more for it. You're very correct on the fact is these $300 properties will not sell. Most of them, you couldn't build an outhouse on them. Okay, but at the same time is obviously this piece of property must be buildable because it keeps coming up. We have no problem with you owning it and getting it back on the tax roll, but there was some clarification needed there.
And I agree with you, Commissioner Berry, that there are legal fees tied up with these properties when they're taken over. The challenge is this. It's like me buying a used car and having to pay the prior owner's parking tickets. It was valued at $1,000. It's worth $1,000, and the bid was for $1,000. And if we want to, as a county, to continue to be in the real estate business and take on more and more real estate holdings, this is the direction we ought to stay in. If we would like to go ahead and get people paying taxes on these properties, then we're going to have to take the hit, because I would also submit to the county that it's going to cost more to hold that piece of property in suspense and then sell it for $300, hopefully, than it is to go ahead and accept a bid. It's a classic example of a bird in the hand. And so I agree with you, but it's I think it's time to address the issue.
The simple truth is we do duplicate cost by the appraisal district taking them over, because the attorney fees, quite frankly, are always more than what the taxes would have been.
Exactly.
I think that, you know, this is a policy that perhaps we need to discuss with the appraisal board, the current appraisal board, or their representatives at a convenient time, because the number is growing. If you look back at the last 5 years, the number is growing rapidly. And as those numbers grows, the legal fees behind them grow, but no production happens resulting in tax dollars.
By the way, just another quick update, and I think this will give you a little bit of a relief. As I looked at the coming sale in March, what we are finding now is we have the overall value, including the fees, and then the minimum bid number, and those are two different numbers, and the minimum bid now is lower. So we're starting to kind of see the writing on the wall. Yeah. I just happen to be caught on the tail end of the, I guess, the old style. So it's going to start taking care of itself, I think, because we have that reduction in the minimum bid cost. So, so can I take note of when that might take place? Obviously, for my own benefit?
Well, right now we have the matter to discuss the sale and take appropriate action, so I'll entertain a motion to sell this lot for $1,000.
Make a motion contingent on GISD accepting the bid as well.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Roan, to sell this piece of property to Dan Coates for $1,000, dependent on Granbury ISD also accepting it. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item is allow charter business to turn up area-wide network services for Hood County locations listed below, which is Annex 3, Acton Annex, Annex 2, Library, Animal Controls. It says items C, D, and E recommended may be turned up later if needed.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. In the third quarter of last year, we moved forward with installing wide area network communications from Charter. The total installation cost on that was $3,500 at the time, and we were able to turn those up as the county sees fit. And the reason for that is that as we are in contract with other services in our communications, we have to wait for those terms to come due. And as those come due, we are able to turn these connections up to the appropriate buildings. At this time, we have some of these offices that are available to be turned up. The primary location, the reason that I listed that is Acton. And the reason that is, Judge, we have multiple lines that run out to Acton, and that is a substantial cost. Those lines are out of contract at this time, and we are able to move those over to the Charter Fiber service. What I listed for you basically on this was the cost that we are spending for a fraction of the bandwidth that is available to us. For that same amount of money, we can get approximately 10 times that amount of bandwidth going out to Acton. This would definitely help us with our voice communications, with our data communications to Acton, which is just a vital necessity for the day-to-day business. I went ahead and listed all of these services because we do have a number of these services that are coming up due in April of this year. And at that time, I would like to move forward, and there may be a little bit of an overlap in that as we need to transfer the service from one to another, and it will take a little bit of time to transfer those services. There are some of these locations that have service at this time. Those locations are the Annex 2 building and the library that are on an older county fiber at this time. We're trying to consolidate and put all of these into one connection point that we can manage and take care of and increase the service level for the county. At this time, we have no service out to Animal Control that is a wide area network connection, so I have that on the list as well. If we turn up Acton only at this time, there is a difference of $12 a month that we would be spending on the connectivity to Acton at this time. And that's what I was coming to the court today for, but I wanted to go ahead and list that if the court would like to move forward with turning up the rest of these connections, there would be a little bit of an overlap, but it would allow us approximately 45 days or so to actually get this turned over, transition to the new network, and we would have just a minimal duplication there.
You have that in your budget?
Commissioner, the budget item is for the 2132, or actually it's 2120 a month for the connectivity to Acton right now. The amount that would be spent with Charter Communications going to all of these sites is $4,857 a month for all of the communications. And I wanted to make sure that I explained this correctly. Per year, what we spend with AT&T right now for communications to Acton and some of these sites is approximately what we would spend with Charter to connect all of the sites. And I wanted to wait until we actually come due so that it would be budgeted in the budget in April. At this time, with what I'm requesting right now, the 2120, it would be a $12 difference that would, I believe, would be out of the budget range, Commissioner. The 4857, which is the total, I would probably wait just a little bit longer and bring that up at a court. I wanted to go ahead and get it kind of forward in the court and the thinking right now. Does that answer the question clear enough?
Is I'll entertain a motion to allow Charter to business to turn up the area-wide network.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Simpson. Do I have a second?
Is that C, D, and E as well? Or are you going to wait?
Jackie?
Commissioner Berry, I'd like to just move forward with turning up the Acton Annex and Annex 3 at this time, if that is permissible for you.
Okay.
Items A and B.
A and B.
A and B, sir.
Okay. Then I have a motion made by Commissioner Simpson, seconded by Commissioner Berry, to allow Charter Business to turn up area-wide services for Hood County locations, Annex 3 and Acton
Yes, sir.
only. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Next, wait, you're still up, Jackie, aren't you? I want to allow IT to begin termination.
Following that up, Judge, the connections that we have to Acton are out of contract, and I need to come before the court to get the court's permission to go ahead and terminate those lines. There is no paperwork that has to be signed on these. It's just a notification to AT&T at this point, but it is something that there is a contract on. There was a contract on, so I wanted to bring it before the court to get approval to terminate that, and we'd give them 30 days is basically what we have to give them.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to terminate.
So moved to accommodate the previous.
All right, I have a motion made by Commissioner Simpson, seconded by Commissioner Heatherton, to allow IT to begin termination processes on all AT&T T1 DS1 circuits for Annex 3 to Acton Annex upon successful transfer. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Sheriff, consider and take appropriate action regarding proposed changes to Hood County animal control policies and procedures.
Judge and Commissioners, I come before you this morning. We've been working on a proposal to change the structure of the fees, and the reason we're doing this is to help with the incentive of getting your animals spayed or neutered. And we're not quite ready to come before you with this. I talked to the county attorney yesterday and last week, and so we're still working on this, but that's the overall picture of this that we're going to bring before you next month. I'd like to have this on the agenda by March 27th, and we'll have it ready to go. And it's going to modify the fee structure to mainly impact It'll save the people some money if their pets get out and they're impounded, but it'll save them some money if they're spayed or neutered, and if they're not, then it's going to cost them a little extra. So we're still in the working process of this, but I just wanted to bring it before you since I did get it on the agenda, but ask that we put it on you pass it today and we move it to the March 27th agenda.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to table this item.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Heatherington, seconded by Commissioner Roan. Any further discussion on this tabling of this item? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. Thank you, Sheriff. Consider and recognize new members of the Hood County Historic Commission and take appropriate action. And I don't see that are the new members here? Do we have someone here from the Historic Commission that would like to come up and address the Commissioner's Court?
Christie.
Come on up, Christy.
I'm Christy Massey, Vice Chair of the Hood County Historical Commission. We had one of our regular members that you gentlemen had designated. He resigned because of family health problems. We had a nominating committee nominate Mary Sutton to fill this position. The commission did vote last Thursday afternoon to bring it to you gentlemen for your blessing, and that's where we are.
Okay. Well, I'll entertain a motion to accept Mary Sutton as a new member of the Hood County Historic Commission.
So moved.
So moved.
Whoa.
Second mine. I'll just.
All right. Have a motion made by Commissioner Roan, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington to approve Mary Sutton as a new member. Any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. Consider and take appropriate action to accept yearly quote on Sheriff Patrol Vehicles Equipment Installation and Removal. Oh, that'd be you? I was looking for the sheriff.
No,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Every year we have items that do not require by law that we bid them out as far as an official RFP because they don't meet the money requirement of $50,000 or above. This is something that will have to be done repeatedly for each vehicle for installation or removal of equipment to go on other vehicles. So we solicit quotes as per our policy manual. We solicited from 5 different companies. We had 2 responses, and I have sent all the pricing to you all on the court in order to see what we will be paying if we choose to accept the purchasing agreement with emergency apparatus.
What have we been paying now?
I didn't bring that, I'm sorry. I have the new pricing is all I have. I think he went up about $200, and that's just a rough estimate.
But that is the lowest quote.
It is.
Motion to accept. Second.
Have a motion made by Commissioner Simpson, seconded by Commissioner Roan to accept the yearly quote on the Sheriff Patrol Vehicles Equipment Installation and Removal. Any further discussion on this item? And all in favor?
Aye.
The motion carried. Thank you very much. Well, that concludes the meeting, and we are at 9:38.